What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Movie Cracks. Been a wild ride the last day or two there with all these horror movies coming out at one time. But we're here now. Let's get into it. Good Boy, directed by Ben Leonberg, starring Indy, the dog, and Shane Jensen. Man, can I just start off by saying credit to the filmmaker here, man. This film took 4 years to make. They made it all in one small house, and it was a family-made movie, so pretty much the people who made the movie own the dog that's in the movie. I know all this information because at the end of my screening, we had a little mini documentary, and essentially the director was talking about making of the movie and how the dog never knew it was in a movie to begin with. This blew my fucking mind because this dog shows emotion in its eyes like nothing I've ever seen. Let's get into it. Starting off with story and pace. So essentially in this movie, you are seeing the events unfold through the dog's perspective at all times. Pretty much 100% of the movie is through the dog's eyes, which is very cool. Everything from the dream sequences that the dog has to the dog witnessing conversations by humans. You are always only ever seeing the conversation from the waist up, and it adds so much mystery and kind of creepiness to the whole movie. Also, when there's like creepy stuff going on in a scene, the way the dog shows like fear or like other emotions just by its eyes is crazy. And the fact that the dog didn't even really apparently get scared in the making of the movie blows my mind. So yes, you're focusing on events through the dog's eyes, and the dog and his owner end up going to this secluded cabin for reasons we won't get into because I feel like it's kind of spoilerish territory. Yes, this cabin has a bit of a history, family history, we'll say. Not great things have kind of gone down in the past in this place, and you're kind of put into this position now and kind of witnessing kind of things repeating themselves in a way. So the relationship between the dog and the main character, the owner, very good. Really well done in this movie. You really believe in their friendship for sure. I will say that the force or the supernatural thing that's kind of affecting the owner, you never really find out too much about it. It's hinted on at times. There is a bit of a thing that kind of runs in the family, we'll say. But you never really know why these kind of ghosts are here or what they're here for. And that's the great thing about films. Some people are going to love that element of mystery in this movie. For me, I feel like just knowing a tad bit more about these ghosts would have kind of added a little bit more substance to the story, in my opinion. But as I said, you're very rooted in this friendship between the dog and the main owner or the main character in the movie. And as events are going down in the movie, you do really feel sorry for both the dog and the human character as well. But as I said, a lot of that is sold to you by this performance of this fucking dog. It's a fucking dog. In my opinion, Indy, this dog, should get some kind of award for this performance. Maybe the first ever animal Oscar or something like that. Because he's fucking brilliant in this movie. Yeah, story overall, pretty good. Couple of misjointed areas for me. But moving on to the pacing. Pacing in this movie is a thrill ride. From the opening scene to the end of the movie, which isn't that long, I think it's around an hour and 20 minutes long, which is great, is just non-stop. In fact, the tension only escalates as the movie goes on. There's a point where two characters end up on the floor cuddling together, and from that point on in the movie, it goes fucking nuts. And I loved every fucking bit of it. Story and pacing for me overall, very well deserved. 4 out of 5 for Good Boy. Moving on to visuals and direction. Now for the visuals, this movie is visually beautiful. Because you're looking at things through the dog's eyes, every visual perspective is so out of the box to what you normally see. Like seeing characters having conversations only from their waist down, never really seeing their face, which adds so much mystery to the movie. It's great. The movie also kind of taps in and out of the dog's heightened senses in a way. And that's more about sound, but you kind of visually see it happening at times as well. And it's pretty damn cool when it happens. Also, the set design and how corridors are made for this dog to kind of traipse through and the camera follows it along the whole way. So creepy, so spooky, so very well done. I just love the set design in this movie. I found myself, as we were following the dog, kind of looking around the room as he was, Kind of like, oh, where the fuck is the fucking thing gonna come out of now? That is great. There are also jump scares in this movie, but they are jump scares with meaning. It's not like some random noise in a shed. This is jump scares with real sinister kind of reasons behind it. Moving on to creative direction. So I love the way that they directed this movie, focusing on everything through the dog's eyes, kind of put into that hopeless position of a dog where you're really just relying on your owner to kind of come to their own senses at times, and there's not much you can really do about it. Those sequences of like hopelessness and like just pure tension were just so well done. An example of one of these sequences is not a spoiler either because it's in the trailer if you've seen it. The owner is doing something with his head against the door, and the dog's looking at this, and it was just so uncomfortable because you just don't normally see sequences like that in a horror movie from a dog's perspective, and it was so creepy. Visuals and creative direction, 4 out of 5 from me. Moving on to sound and score. The sound effects in this movie are really I mentioned earlier that the director kind of zooms in on those heightened senses of the dog, and that really comes across in the sound in some sequences where the dog is like experiencing a sound that's extremely loud, but then you look at it from a different angle and the sound is not that loud. It's just a heightened feeling that you're getting through the dog's ears and eyes. Pretty cool. Quick hydration break. You know, moving on to score. So the music in the movie is very effective for the story that's being told. So in that sense, the music is very good. Um, Nothing crazy, like nothing that I'm gonna listen to again or anything, but pretty decent. 4 out of 5 for music and sound, purely because the sound was so well done in this movie. There you have it, folks. 4 out of 5 final score for Goodbye. I freaking really like this movie, and I will go back and make it a Halloween regular for myself. And to me, that's a sign of a very damn good movie. That being said, if you like this movie crack, you like this movie talk, stick around. Don't be a sausage. Hit the old subscribe, give me an old like, Go on to our TikTok, we one of those as well. Have a look over there. That being said, see you in the next one. Hopefully it's a good one. Good luck.